Can't just use AI to generate your content. People can see through that.
How do you minimize the risk of leakage?
There are a lot of things that everyday developer can gain from using those tools, but it doesn't come without risks.
People that are having the best success with AI are those that are experimenting and are just consciously knowing that not every task will be good for AI, and that's okay.
Let's say it's an edge case or a technology that is not as popular or is currently emerging, for which the LLM doesn't have enough data. Then it actually, the reasoning model is much better because it's recognized the fact, okay, I don't know too much about it. I'll try to experiment on your behalf to get to the best solution.
Suddenly we started to realize that AI is replacing search. So people are not using Google anymore, or they are, and they're just paying attention to the Gemini result.
Do you think that AI is making marketers dumber? Can AI really replace developers or marketers? Or are we just using it to make more mediocre stuff faster? This is what we'll be digging in today. So, hi everyone, welcome back to Modernization Accepted, a podcast that unpacks tech change and talks about what really matters. Today's topic is what everyone's been really buzzing about for a while now. AI in modern IT teams, where it breaks and where it helps. And I'm really thrilled to welcome my guests today. They've been really in the center of this shift. So welcome Dan Bio, Senior Project Marketing Manager at Progress, Stefan Stefanov, Product Manager at Progress, and of course our very own Cviatko Konov, Deputy CTO here at Resolute Software. Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you've all seen the power and the pain of AI, and AI is literally everywhere. And some people perceive it as something that really boosts productivity. Some are really scared that it's coming to get them, or more like their jobs. I'm sure the truth is somewhere in between. But Dan, a question to you. We have seen a lot of research, statistics, data around the high levels of adoption of AI, especially in the tech companies, but how many actually know what they're doing?
Well, that's a broad question, but so when it started, AI, people were just using AI to dump out content, and then we learned that wasn't good because you can easily see AI generated content, and there's tools out there to detect AI generated content, so that's not providing value. People started to learn that you use AI as a tool, not as a threat. So you can write your own content, you can use AI to enhance it, to score it for you, to see if the tone is right. So AI is great for refining things. And as people learn that, the adoption is increasing because AI is becoming a serious tool, not just a plaything.
Yeah, it's not like this fancy toy anymore
Right.
that everyone loves to play around, but there is added value. Is there an aha moment for that when you realize it, or it's just with more
Yeah, I
work?
mean, it kind of happened overnight. For a while, we were using AI and we're kind of just worried about it. Then all of a sudden, we realized that we can use it as a great tool. It really helped our jobs. It wasn't a threat anymore. I learned through it using AI tools to rate my content that I wasn't as good as a writer as I thought I was. So it helped me become a better writer and a faster writer. So I think AI is a great tool now, and it's not just a toy, just like I just said.
Yeah, but are there any risk for businesses who are like over relying on AI, or who are desperately trying to catch up with the hype?
Absolutely. You can't just use AI to generate your content. People can see through that. And when you use AI to generate your content, you're not adding value to anybody because anybody can go to AI and generate content. So there has to be a human mind behind the generation of content. You have to give it the right prompts. You have to generate some of your own content out of your own brain and then use AI to enhance it, just like I said.
Yeah, we'll get back to the content part. I'm really also interested in the developer side of the story. We've heard that it can really speed things up, but we've also heard some scary stories. Okay, guys, can you, Stefan, Cviatko, if you can share a task in your workflow where AI genuinely can make your life easier? Cviatko, you can, or Stefan, whoever wants to start. I'm glad that you're eager to answer my question.
Yeah, I'll start. So, long story short, talking about AI, we are usually talking about LLMs, which currently has trying to integrate it every aspect of our life and then in everyday work, especially for developers, where we're talking about solving complex challenges and problems. But not all the routine throughout the day does require this hard brain power. So there are some things like, okay, I need to understand this new technology fast. I need to understand how it's built. I need to play with a bit of ideation and then see, okay, can this work? This is where AI can help you get fast answers. I mean, of course, they're to various degree of quality, but at the end of the day, you just want the answer. You don't want the code. And then there are other things. For example, if I'm working on let's say a new product, I need to start from somewhere. So scaffolding, boilerplate code, things like that. This is where AI can help you, and of course some assistance during development. There is also a lot of benefit to be gained from that. So I would say there are a lot of things that everyday developer can gain from using those tools, but it doesn't come without risks. But we'll talk a bit later about those.
Yeah, I have questions about this. Stefan, what do you think?
Yeah, so from the people that I have been speaking to and from my own experience, I can say that AI can help you with different tasks, but you have to experiment a little bit because there are some tasks that AI just is going to make the code worse. It's going to actually slow you down in the process because you have to review all of that code, see what is not working, and then go and actually fix it and probably do it manually at the end. But there are multiple tasks where it can really help you, especially for things where it's repetitive. You have to jumpstart something, or you have to refactor a lot of files and a lot of things in the code. And I see that a lot of developers that are embracing AI are actually experimenting and evaluating. Is this task good for AI or this task is not good for AI? And I think the people that are having the best success with AI are those that are experimenting and are just consciously knowing that not every task will be good for AI, and that's okay. They are not expecting AI to be good with everything because there are a lot of people that are trying a couple of things. They see a task that is not good with AI, and they're just saying, "Oh, I'm not going to use AI. It's producing very bad things." But actually, people that are accepting of the mistakes of the AI and just judging what works and what not.
Yeah, makes total sense. And a question to like a follow up. You've done a lot of research on the topic.
Yeah.
Do you reckon there is any fear or anxiety among developers community, not society, around adopting AI?
I see that there was, especially, let's say, a couple of months ago, especially amongst senior developers, because some of them were probably even afraid or are just have that feeling that they can just do it better and they just don't need
Feeling the
AI.
superiority.
Yeah, but with time, even them, they understand that AI can actually help them. They don't have to just completely ignore it, and they start seeing this even smaller and smaller gains, but they see the value.
Yeah, and Svetko, you got your hands dirty, I suppose, on the matter. Can you share what types of tools have you tried? What worked? And a follow up question: are these tools actually saving time, or are they just introducing a new way to like make more mistakes?
Yeah, well, I actually tried. I tried to be open minded and try everything that's on the market. When we're talking about developer productivity, there are a lot of things that can help, definitely. Tools like GitHub Pilot and Windsurf, Perplexity. Cloud is particularly good as an agent. And what it does is not miles away from some of the other competitors, but it's interesting the approach that it's usually taking when it's trying to solve a problem or a factor. It basically says, well, let's say it's a mainstream task. For mainstream, it's relatively easy, but let's say it's something not as easy. Let's say it's an edge case or a technology that is not as popular or is currently emerging, for which the LLM doesn't have enough data. Then it actually, the reasoning model, it's much better because it's recognized the fact, okay, I don't know too much about it. I'll try to experiment on your behalf to get to the best solution. So these are some models that we see that are good in some of the tasks. At the end of the day, however, you need to think about that this is the whole model, the whole concept, and the whole solution is actually based on statistics, on probabilities. It doesn't work with logic. So that means that whatever is being produced from it, you need to be critical about that one.
There is this, I think I've heard the term hallucinations of AI, right?
Yeah.
This is what you're referring to?
In a sense, but not always. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes I usually try to think about what is, because people are saying, okay, this is your copilot, this is like a replacement, this is a buddy. I don't think that the tools are there yet. What I think they're like hyperactive junior developer. They know they read everything. They know they want to understand everything, but they go on the surface. They basically imitate whatever they have read. They don't understand the underlying concepts out of that. And actually, there was a study about that, I think, from Apple, in that regards, that they try to, let's say, to extract knowledge from the information that can be trained for LLM and try to elaborate it in a different tools. Basically, try to solve an equation, but not how it's being explained to the LLM in a different way. They fail miserably. So that means that they can mimic, but they cannot deeply reason. And that means everything that's being produced from an LLM needs to be verified. And throughout the tests, we actually came up with a good state of mind and kind of a mind map when to use AI, at what stage, and at what stage to try to put it away and use your own brain.
Can you conclude for the current state of AI that it's actually very helpful for more basic stuff, and it poses more risks when it comes to more complicated requests or prompts?
I wouldn't put it like that. It's more that currently it's helpful in a let's say a couple of niche or I would say less tasks that require less strategical thinking. So it's ideal if you want, let's say, to extract insights for a vast amount of data, big data. This is actually where it comes from. So this is where it bests at. So it can give you a kind of a direction where to continue looking. It is great for testing hypotheses. So basically you say, okay, what if? And it tries to give you a probability what can happen, which is again ideal. It doesn't help too much if you try to think in, especially in development, in long-term strategic. Okay, what would be the long-term maintainability of what I'm building? How I can anticipate the needs of the business, how I can incorporate what I currently know as a context, what I have explicitly and implicitly extracted from our collaboration with business stakeholders. So these are still things that are out of grasp for the tools that are available at hand. But there are some places where I think they're valuable and they help a lot.
You mentioned research, and we as well. I'm a marketer myself, and I use AI for research and documentation. So we've seen that a lot. That's a question for both of you. Do you think that this is kind of replacing other respected sources for information or inspiration, like, let's say, Stack Overflow, or are developers still using these sources more than AI? Well, what's your feeling around this?
So personally, I believe that developers, especially, and not just them, me as a product manager as well, I think we are starting to use AI more because, especially after they release the feature for the AI to be able to search the internet, because the AI it's actually going and searching the similar places that you will be going and searching. You can even suggest it to, hey, go and get the information based on those websites. So it can go and do it for you. So instead of you going over multiple threads, reading different comments, testing it out, the AI can sum it up, see what works, what doesn't, and give you a couple of suggestions. Again, it's not 100% correct all of the time, but in the cases that works, it can save you a lot of time going into multiple resources, checking it again and again.
Yeah, so this is one area where AI really, really helps.
Yeah, with the research, I think that it helps a lot, especially some of the products like ChatGPT has this deep research functionality. Perplexity also has it, but I think the one that ChatGPT has, it's far superior that the ones that I have been testing on the other products. It really gives you very, very good results, and it cites all of the sources that it has used. So it can really, really save you time on those researches, regardless if they're purely technical on the marketing side, on the product side, or anything else, very much.
Yeah, I completely agree here. I mean, at the end of the day, LM and its core concept is somewhat, I would say, iteration over the state-of-the-art search engines. So in that sense, this is what they will do best. I do use a lot of it just in order to orient myself, find something, not to read, let's say, hundreds of pages, just extract the insights. But we need to be mindful that this is just part of the process. This is kind of give you the mind map, and then you say, okay, now I want to dig deeper. You probably eventually would end up in the source, because this is, let's say, if we're talking about technology and we're talking about the, let's say, either KB article or some kind of a guide, this is purpose built from a human, let's hope it's human, that is targeting specifically this audience using this language, and it's trying to solve the problem that you have at hand. So ultimately, this would be the source that would help you the most. Eventually, we end up there. And the other case in which usually developers will go in that direction is if there is an emerging technology that still is not as popular, because LLM would not be able to give you the concepts immediately from this new technology, and you need to resolve to the sources, since for LLM this is just, let's say, an exception rather than a general trend still.
And how about tests? Is AI good for that currently? Does it introduce any dangers?
I would say it does have value. It does help you in a sense that it can give you this boilerplate code. But also we need to recognize that what usually is able to produce as a coverage is kind of a validation of a snapshot of the current state of the system. It's hard for them at this stage to understand the context of why this code base exists there and what problem is trying to solve in order to cover for that. So the code would basically be like a safety net for the current state if something changes. But the change can be intentional, which currently cannot be accounted for from this generated code. And that means that the test generation, again, needs to be an augmented activity. Basically, you start from somewhere, you try to get and reap the maximum gain from the tool, but then extend it yourself. And you did mention about risks. Yeah, risks, a lot of those. One of the probably the biggest issue that we were facing is, let's say you go with a relatively simple task of, I don't know, refactoring or scaffolding, or please do the same thing as you can see in the other part of the system, apply the same pattern. And it does. However, occasionally, since we say that these systems are imitating patterns, they try to imitate this pattern, but sometimes the imitation might not be perfect. And that means there is a subtle bug that is hard to spot that would then probably eat you up all the gains to try to find why this is not working. So you need to be very mindful that whatever is being produced needs to have a critical look at, okay, is this really working the way I intend to? Are there some issues? So you need to have that perspective. Okay, somebody else, and I already mentioned like junior developer or intern, somebody else produced that. You told him, okay, this is the code base, do exactly the same thing over here, and then send me for a code review. And then you actually say, okay, I shouldn't take this as granted. I shouldn't put any trust into what I see at the moment. I need to try and review it without my own expertise in mind, and understand that what actually has been achieved here. Are there any issues? Otherwise, yeah, things are going downwards.
You already touched upon risks, so I was gonna ask, is there any security risks? And Stefan, also to you, let's say, for example, in scenarios where the company is dealing with sensitive data, and how do you, let's say, use ChatGPT? It's a public platform. How do you minimize the risk of leakage?
So as a start, probably just don't use
Don't use
ChatGPT
ChatGPT.
for private data. That's the first. What I'm doing if I have to use it for a similar task is first clean up the data. So for example, remove from the data any names, any pretty much identifiable information, any actual number. So pretty much a thing that can cause a security issue or information leaking. When it's come to the code, it really depends on the criticality of your system and the data that your system provides. There are multiple applications that they don't hold any sensitive data. They don't, even if somebody pretty much hacks them, there's not a crazy issue that will come up with. From that. So for those applications relying on AI for speed, for agility, it's a good thing because many people use AI for things that they were not able to do before. Because when we're speaking about developers, yes, for developers working on a big company critical projects, AI should be used for very specific tasks, for smaller things that you can easily review and know what the changes are. You just don't want to spend the time to use it yourself. But there's a new group of people that before, without AI, they weren't able to create anything because they were not able to code at all. And now, with the help of AI, they can start something and ship something as a prototype, as something that they can validate with the user base. So it's very different from which perspective you're looking at. If it's a professional developer, it's probably you have to be very critical of everything that the AI produces. If you are a non-technical person that were not able to produce anything before, you can pretty much trust it a little bit more for new projects just to see how it goes.
I see. And I mentioned a while ago scary stories. Do you have scary stories yourself that you'd like to share with us? I'm curious, just like a natural progression from talking about risks and dangers.
Well, I wouldn't say it's something that has happened to me, but I read around the community that there are a lot of issues when we're talking about security. And this is something that I think developers quickly learned. The fact that LLM is trained over data set that is available from the open source code base plus any code base that it has access to. And if you think about it, all of the vulnerabilities that are currently highest vulnerability, they're basically because they are available in this code base. So that means that on average, you can expect the same vulnerabilities in your code base. There are some tools that are try to kind of optimize and detect, but they're still not ideal. So at the end of the day, if you're building application that you want to ensure a certain level of security, not only exposing information, but also preventing attack vectors onto your final application, you need to have a proper security review in place. I mean, currently there is no replacement for that.
And then, in terms of other areas of usage in the marketing field, what do you think about social listening or competitor analysis? How can AI really help in this sense of researching?
Yeah,
Let's say.
it's not only about how AI can help. We need to learn about what AI is telling people about us. So we
Yeah.
spent a lot of time, using AI as a tool, using AI to help us be more productive. And all of a sudden we started to realize that AI is replacing search. So people are not using Google anymore, or they are, and they're just paying attention to the Gemini results. But you got to start paying attention to what AI is saying about you, because it might be saying bad things. We found out at one point in time, AI was telling people not to use our tools.
Ooh.
But it wasn't hard to train it to stop
Pleasant.
saying that. So you have to go and ask AI questions that you think your customers are going to ask and see what it says. See what it says about you, see what it says about your competitors. And there's things that you can do to train it to say the things that you want it to say. So you may have unintentionally trained it to say the wrong thing. Or AI relies a lot on Reddit, and we all know that Reddit can be a bad place.
Yeah.
and it may pick up on something bad somebody said, and it will tell everybody else that. So I think as marketers, we're going to have to start paying a lot of attention to what AIs or the LLMs really are saying about you, and then do the things you have to do to train it not to say those things. And you can put content on your own website, but it's more important to inspire other people to say things about you that you want them to say. And that's going to be a really important practice going forward.
I was gonna ask you if you have any scary stories yourself, but you already
That's one of them. Yeah,
touched upon this.
There's another one from the early days of AI when somebody on the team produced a blog post and just asked AI to produce the blog post and just gave it to our blog team. Luckily, our blog team reviewed the post. It had a couple of things that were inaccurate in it, but the worst thing about it was there were 3 or 4 paragraphs and a quote taken straight from one of our competitors' blogs. And if we would have published that would have been a very, very bad thing. So that just reinforces the point that you have to review the things that you get out of AI.
Yeah. A very, very good conclusion to everything we've just said.
Yeah.
So thank you for also sharing this. Let's imagine you mentioned junior developers a couple of times. Let's imagine I am a junior developer myself. That I'm just kicking off my career. I'll ask you, Stefan. What would be your advice to me, AI wise?
My advice will be use AI to learn new technologies faster, because AI can help you explain the thing that you're doing. It can help you explain the code base. For example, your boss has given you a task to create a small feature that is not very critical. But the AI can help you explain the code base. It can help you even give you some suggestions on the structure of the current code base and how you can follow the rules that your colleagues are following as well. So pretty much use it as a guide to help you speed up your work instead of giving the entire task to the AI, pushing a pull request and hoping for the best. So that would be my advice in this case.
Cviatko, any tips?
I would be even more conservative, and I'll probably expand it a little bit more outside the junior, but also developers in general. How do we use AI to help us and not hurt us? There are also recent studies that say that this cognitive offloading can actually deteriorate our capabilities to solve complex issues. So we need to be mindful for that as well, and we need to see how our expertise and the capability improves, not decreases, and how AI can fit into that. So my mind map for that is, okay, let's start with, I'm a junior, senior, doesn't matter. There is a new technology out there that I've never touched it, so I need to learn it. If I'm senior developer, I do have some head start, but then again, it's a new thing. So when we're talking about ideation, discovery, walkthrough, these are things where AI can help. But my suggestion here is try to alternate. Okay, AI has given me some insights. Let's now put AI aside and try to digest, to understand, to see what's behind it. Try to see what are my next questions, what are my next unknown. So human should be at the driver's seat from a strategical thinking, from a problem-solving kind of approach thinking. AI should be just a tool. And then let's say, okay, I do have a hypothesis. Then what I can do an experiment. What I want to get from that, I want to get an answer. Try, get an answer. And then going like that. Finally, when I have implemented a feature, what I can do is, it doesn't matter whether code is partially generated from AI. Let's say you have done your due diligence, you have looked into it, then you submit it for a PR, then you can actually use some of the automated tools for all the bots that are currently analyzing code base to give you some second perspective. Have I missed something? Not rewrite it completely, but maybe there are some aspects that I have overlooked. Run this tool and then verify whether the information that you are receiving from the report is actually actionable or not. And in my opinion, this is where the moment we can benefit the most.
Well, thank you. I have now a very good base if I decide to switch careers. All right. If we go back to the marketing / business side of the story, let's go back to the content. I myself also use AI for content, but is that content, you already touched upon it, but is that any good at all? Or is it just, again, producing something faster but more and more average?
It's funny. I sit here and listen to these two, and the concepts of using AI for development is almost identical to using it for marketing and for content. All the risks, all the benefits are almost the same. It's just you're getting words and plans rather than code. But no, I'll say no. If you go and say, write me an article about how progress benefits the user, you're not going to get anything good. Yeah. So you only get something as good as you put into it. So if you give AI a great outline and some advice on tone and all those things, you're going to get a pretty good article. But it's still going to hallucinate. It's still going to give you some wrong data because it doesn't understand what's in your head. It doesn't understand what's behind the walls of progress. It only knows what's on the internet. So you definitely have to go through and analyze it yourself. So I see AI as helping on the front end. Give me an outline, set up the document for me. And then you go in and add your own insight, your own expertise. And then you go back and you say, okay, what's the tone like? Is it good? Can I make it better? So AI is good on the basic, repeatable, brain dead things. and then you add your own insight, and then you go back and then it will give it best practices to make the tone correct.
So if I'm to use a bit an extreme expression, but it's not only a means of garbage in, garbage out, but also it can never, even if in terms of prompt engineering everything is perfect, you can never get the perfect result in the end without.
Right. You should as good as your prompt can be. You can be the best prompt engineer ever. You should never, give it a prompt, take the content and just shove it out on the internet. You should always look at it yourself. Yeah. And the same goes true with the developers.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna ask this question. Do you think that AI is making marketers dumber?
Maybe some of them.
Or it actually expresses the lack of critical thinking in the first place?
I think it's making the good marketers better. It's making the lazy marketers worse. I think that's a really
nice
good way to
put it.
Yeah. But just like the developers, you really should see it as a tool. You shouldn't see it as something that's going to replace your job and let you go to the beach earlier. but it's something that gets the brain dead task done, so you can go be a better marketer and do more things and do more innovative things. AI is not going to really innovate for you because it's going to look at best practices, and innovation is about creating new best practices.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it kind of like frees time. You can use it for, as you mentioned, repetitive tasks, things that really take your time, and so you can invest more time into strategy.
Right, exactly. AI is not going to strategize for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about, can you think of other areas? Guys, by the way, you can always jump in. I would like to also hear your perspective on the matters. But do you think there are also other areas that, apart from content creation, where I can help, like automation, for example?
Yeah. We focus a lot on content because that's a lot what we do as marketers.
Yeah.
But it will help in plans. It'll do all the brain dead work with planning and all that stuff. But again, you have to put your own strategy into it. So AI is great for saying, give me the best practice for launching a product into a new market. And you'll get best practices, you'll get a nice plan outline. But you're only going to be successful if you add your own spin on it. So it is great for planning, but the same rules apply. It's really good for market research. It saves it. That's probably where AI saves the most time for a marketer, because it takes a lot of time to go to every website, dig, and AI will do that for you. But nothing replaces talking to users and to your market. Nothing ever will ever replace that, and you still should do that. So there's three phases where it helps in marketing: is content, research, and planning. And then there is some automation you could do, like some website automation, but that just depends on how you're set up in your internal company.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah. And to all of you guys, if you can tell our audience generally when to use AI and when to drop it. I would love to hear everyone's take on this one. Who wants to start?
Well, I would say if you already have a plan and you have, let's say, 10 tasks that you know that you can give to somebody that's not even like an expert, in what he's doing. It's just something that it's a time eater. Let's let the AI do it. I mean, you don't need to spend time for that, but always check.
Yeah, and for me, it's I'm more of I'm trying to experiment. So what I'm doing is, if there is a task that I can do, I try to do it with AI. I evaluate the results, if it's a good result, a bad result, and then decide if I want to use AI for this task that I have it next time or don't. Also, what I'm doing is, because AI, it's actually evolving. Like, it's evolving so fast that somebody that has tried something with AI in the let's say 3 months ago, 4 months ago, the results will be completely different today. So what I'm doing is, I give it time. When I see that there are new models out, new products out, even if the task that I tried 3 months ago, it was not good with AI, I can try it again and see the results. Because AI is moving so fast in how good it becomes in different tasks. So I'm trying to give it a chance. But again, like everybody said, you have to check the result. You cannot blindly trust it, but just give it a chance and see what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, and also to that regard, this kind of a perspective from a product perspective, there are a lot of I would say opportunities for AI, not only as a tool, as part of creating an application, but it's also exposing that capability to the users of the product that is being built. I know that this is a different topic, but it seems that more and more enterprise application can benefit from that, since currently we do have somewhat static UI that is being built that somewhat limits your capabilities of interaction with the system. And currently what we are looking at Resolute is actually empower some of our customers to go beyond that and basically give them that capability of, okay, data intelligence, everything is in the application. I just cannot reach it because I do have this wall of buttons and grids and system, and I want to have something more. And this capability of augmented experience through LLM would basically enable you to do more than that, and basically take it to the next level.
Yeah, I would also add that a good place for a marketer to use AI is when you're working with a web team and you're trying to explain to them what you want a web page to look like. That is a painful process sometimes. There's a lot of back and forth with the wireframes and Figma and all that stuff. Yeah. You can go to an AI like Bold.new or Cursor or anything and create your own prototype of the page and then send it over. And that will save you a week or two at a time. So that's another great use of AI. I would highly recommend that marketers do that. And aside from that, if you're a small company, websites are expensive. You can go to those tools and you can just spin up your own basic website. You don't even need to hire somebody for weeks and weeks of time. But I would definitely take AI seriously in those cases. Where I wouldn't use AI, and this is kind of a small thing, but I really wouldn't do it and it annoys me, is when people use AI to generate imagery. Because it is cringy and you can tell that it's AI generated, and often it steals other people's work. And but so those are like the things I would add.
Thank you all. And where do you think a good partner sits in this equation, Petko?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
I mean, how a partner can help you adopt AI, or if you are a first user.
Well, if you, let's say you are a company that now has, I don't know, maybe 10 years into the business, you already have built your system, it's up and running, you already, let's say you do have a good market share, but now it's time to think, okay, there are new disruptive technologies out there, there are new companies that probably are going to steal our business. What should we do? You need to have that perspective, how I can get from A to B, how I can get from the current situation that I'm currently in into something that basically enables me to use and be competitive in the new market. And AI is not different than any other thing that has come up, maybe a bit more disruptive, maybe a bit more accessible. But then again, it's not different than, okay, I have built something in, I don't know, desktop application, and now a web come and disrupts everything. And not, somebody needs to give me that expertise, how I'm going to get, or I need to learn it myself if I'm capable of. And then mobile comes and say, okay, now mobile is going to disrupt everything. Everything is mobile. How I'm going to have a presence there? And now there's also the cloud. Now is the AI. So I would say the path is very similar to the disruptions that we had in the past. You basically need to find an expert that is capable of delivering that, helping that. Whether it's a built let's say component or system that I can reuse and kind of integrate into my system, or it's something that is tailored to my use case and provides me this additional leverage to the existing system.
And you guys, what do you think?
For me, it's also when you have to scale up, because the things that Dad mentioned about these tools like Bold, Visio, Lovable, these are like AI tools that allow you to create your own websites with just prompts, but they can go to some degree and can cover some of the business cases that are very limited. They're good for creating either prototypes or an early MVP. But when you have to scale, you need a team behind you that can actually create these scalable, secure systems that can help you grow your business. Because again, the AI can help you jumpstart it, but at least as of today, probably it will be able to do it after some years. But as of today, it will not be able to create a fully scalable, secure system for your product that you depend on.
I agree. And Dan, do you want to add something, or I can?
I would just say it's always good to find partners who fill in the gaps. And
Yeah.
when and you can share expertise with, because AI is such a frontier that people are doing things that you might not even imagine. So it's good to learn from your partners and fill in each other's gaps and deliver a great message and a product to your users.
Agree. And since we're heading towards the end of our conversation, unfortunately, if you can just give our audience one takeaway from today's conversation.
I would say don't be afraid of AI. Use it as a tool, because a lot of people are afraid of it. A lot of people are hesitant to adopt it, but now they're feeling pressure from their peers, because if you don't, you'll get left behind. But I would say embrace AI.
I would say consider the AI the next level of all the tools that you already know as a developer. So IntelliSense, scaffolding, templating, code analysis, all of this now goes to the next level. But at the end of the day, they don't have the intelligence, the insights, and the reasoning that it's expected of the whole software development practice. So you're still on the driver's seat.
Yeah, and to add on that, I think that there are a lot of people that are afraid that AI will take their job. And to those people, I'm always saying that AI personally will not gonna take their job, but people that are utilizing AI best probably will. And I'm giving this example with when the computers came out. There are people that just didn't want to use computers. They want to do it the old way with paper and everything. They don't want to take advantage of the speed the computers were providing to do the task. And those people were pretty much replaced with people that are using computers and are doing the tasks faster and more efficiently. So for me, don't be afraid of the AI, but learn to use it, and because it will help you instead of replace you.
Very, very well put. Thank you. And thank you guys for being my guest today. It was a lovely conversation, very insightful. I hope we can do that again sometime.
Yeah, let's follow up in a year and see how things change.
Yeah, I bet a lot of things would change. And for those of you in front of your screens, thank you so much for staying until the end of the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please comment below if you have any experience with any AI tools, or you have or you want to share your take on our conversation. We'd love to loop you into the discussion. So yeah, thank you, take care, and see you soon.